Ignore my phone going off. Hey everybody, welcome to Toku Portal Podcast. I am Ryan. With me is
Did it decay?
And the little king.
And today we are talking about Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger vs Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger, episode 8. So, right off the bat, thieves find some Potamon and Kaitou change and roll call. I don't know if I've ever seen a roll call happen that early into the episode, but it was
I
fun.
was thinking that exact same thing. And it's the
Yeah.
only roll call we get this episode.
Uh-huh.
Take the victors where you find them, I suppose. Or in this case, the roll call.
Yeah. So, then we just immediately cut to the station. Tsukasa explains her theory that the cafe staff are the thieves. Jim explains their backgrounds while we see the Lupin Rangers fighting. Pretty cool. Sakuya pities Umika and can't believe this theory. Tsukasa is certain if they monitor them, they'll find solid evidence. One of the Potamon escapes the Lupin Rangers at a dead end. And then they just give up for the day. And we get the opening. Thoughts?
Lupin Ranger backgrounds, and we get drama based on a kitten smitten crush. Which is very cute. And I still root for both of them. And the fight was okay for what it was.
It was actually really interesting when they pulled up the background information on the Lupin Rangers. We know that Kyrie was arguing with his brother over something. We don't know what it was, but now we know that his brother was all he had because they lost their parents. So maybe like it had something to do with Kyrie's future. He had just graduated high school. Maybe his brother was pushing him to go to college or something. And then Umika, we didn't know that she had dropped out of high school when she became a Lupin Ranger. Now we do. There's a lot more information here than we were actually presented. Hell, people think that Tuma's girlfriend ran out on him.
Yeah, and I think they gave us their ages too, which is cool.
Another underage yellow. How many can we get?
Don't try counting, please, to anybody listening.
Remember that time they had a pink who was over 18 but was playing 16? Oh no, wait, do I have that backwards? She was 16 playing 18?
No, it was... Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was...
Gotta give something for the adults who have to watch this with their kids.
Okay, decade, if you please.
Right on it. So after the opening commercial, we get episode title number 8, The Thieves' True Identities. Once again, Umika is working hard without Kaidi's help in the cafe. Tsukasa and Sakuya are watching from afar. Keiichiro follows Kaidi to the dead end. Before Kaidi can check the wall, Goody starts whispering from inside his sweater. He warns Kaidi that he's being followed because they're suspects. At the cafe, Kaidi is certain that the police don't have any evidence, but they're still concerned. Goody asks why they became phantom thieves, because Kogure is the only one who knows at this point. So Umika tells him. Goody just says he's trying to help them to protect their collection pieces. But at the same time, he can't stop helping the police because that's just Goody for you. Thoughts?
I like that they tried addressing the fact that he's not playing both sides because he wants to. It's really a choice of his morals, his decisions stacking up over time. It's like, well, I do want to help you guys, I still will, but I can't go against what I believe in and go against them all the time. So I like that it didn't added a bit more to him, I think. And, he does seem to care about them since he wants to know why it is they're doing this at all, and only furthers him helping them, which is nice. Although I do have one question. How in the hell did he get in Kyrie's sweater?
Carefully. No, you missed nothing. He just shows up in Kyrie's sweater.
Okay, then? I do like that they're trying to be confident, like, okay, figure out where they're going, check their behavioral patterns to see if they match up the next time we see the thieves. Smart cop work. Good on you, writers.
So I got the impression from Goody that, like, when he said he had a good feeling about them, like, he just meant, like, not necessarily, like, sticking to his guns, but just, like, hey, this seems like a good idea. But I think you're more correct on this. Anyways, it's nice to, like, actually hear why Goody wanted to stick with the thieves back when we first met him. Because the thieves are actually going after the collection, and that's what he needs to protect. That's his job. That's why he didn't initially want to work with the police. They were just destroying the Ganglar. And yeah, the cops are being smart about this. Like, hey, check their patterns. What are their daily habits like? Learn about them.
So Sakuya sends Umika a text asking if she's working tomorrow, and she kind of just replies that she is, even though she wasn't. The thieves realize the police are planning something. Sakuya plans to leak information that a Ganglar is attacking to lure the thieves out. He wants to prove Umika's innocence. Keiichiro suggests they lure them to the purification plant where Kairi was sniffing around and they defeated the Potamon. Jim has a safe taped to his head, and he'll attack local police staff disguised as construction workers.
Cue gif of head banging on the desk.
Oh, it's so dumb. I love it. I love Jim's reaction when he looks around the room and suddenly realizes that they're all staring at him.
I never said it was a bad thing.
King, you wanna...
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna assume you think that, look, it was okay. I mean, it made for some good laughs, and one thing I did pull away from that was the fact that Sakuya and Umika swapped numbers, so maybe there's something that could come of that. I don't know, but clever on them for using it to their advantage, and, I mean, again, very, very silly, but thinking smart, like, to go to the places they were messing around in, figure out what they're going for. Jim.
So the whole swapping numbers thing is something that we actually saw happen last episode. When Sakuya asked Umika out on a date, he gave her his number, and then later she had to call him to arrange the fake date.
I forgot about that. My bad.
It's actually like a nice little continuity thing. They have each other's numbers now.
I'm sorry, people. My brain is very, very much all over the place today. If I say stuff that should be pretty obvious, my bad.
I really like Sakuya's ambition here. He's working to prove that Umika isn't a thief, but he's still putting his all into it. He's still doing stuff that could potentially prove she is one. He's not letting that get in the way of his work. I like that. He's very earnest.
For sure. So Tsukasa and Sakuya arrive at the cafe. Toma says that Kairi's on a break upstairs, and the operation begins. Tsukasa and Sakuya leave to stop the gangler, Jim, and they're being super obvious about it. They're like, oh my god, a gangler at blah 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 plant. So they just stop like on a nearby rooftop to observe the cafe to see if they leave. Jim seems to be taking the monster role too seriously when he's beating up the construction workers. The LupinRangers arrive, but Umika and Toma haven't left. Before they can attack, Jim challenges them to answer a riddle, and the LupinRangers try to think it through. Tsukasa runs back to the cafe and demands to see Kairi. Kairi arrives, speaking kinda strangely. Jim retreats, the LupinRangers chase. Jim arrives at the dead end and falls through a hidden door. Kogure removes his Kairi disguise, and the two extra Lupin Reds remove their disguises as well. For those of you who don't remember, the finisher using Good Striker summons two Reds. So yeah, that was fun. Thoughts?
You sly fox! I will admit the talk was a bit of a giveaway, but damn, that was freaking clever! And, you know, I mean, I kind of figured Jim would take it a bit overboard. I mean, how often do you get to play the bad guy and get away with it, right?
I love that Jim was getting into it. Just like starting to like vent out his real emotions. And that Keiichiro started questioning like, is he still pretending or? As for the three Lupin Reds thing, I kind of had a feeling that that's what the case was when Blue and Yellow didn't say anything and then they all started thinking about the riddle. Like, I feel like Tuma probably would have figured it out, actually. But as for Kogure disguised as Kairi, I didn't even catch the first time that he said bonjour, so that actually caught me off guard. It's weird that that he had like one of those like Mission Impossible masks. You know, the ones that like that's not how masks work. Though I do love that he was wearing high heels to make himself seem taller.
Yeah, those were more like stilts. So, yeah, Gosh reveals to Red that this is her human experimentation lab. Keiichiro saves the civilians while Red fights Gosh and some Potamon. Gosh can read all of Red's moves using her binocular piece, but she trades it for the gun to turn 6 Potamon giant, and she leaves. Red deploys in his jet to fight back. The other thieves arrive in their vehicles and Gattai. The Potamon are no match despite their desperate formation. Oh, that was great. Let's go ahead and finish the episode. Kairi asks Kogure about Gosh's piece, but he claims to know nothing and says he'll investigate. Yeah, right. Tsukasa is bummed, but overall, they saved Gosh's victims and destroyed her lab. And after the commercial, Hilltop guesses the riddle correctly. Episode end. Thoughts?
Giant mook fights are always fun. You know they're always gonna get their asses handed to them. And that makes for a fun time.
I like that
I
these
like
ones
the-
tried.
Yeah, they did, but you just knew. The lab scene I thought was really cool. Like, we get to see a bit more into Ghost, we get to see her other piece at work, wondering how that's going to come into play later, but. And I mean, it was. I swear, that bitch still creeps the shit out of me.
Right?
And, yeah, I mean, Hilltop guessing the riddle, I kind of figured he would. I mean, he's the smartest out of the four of them, to be honest. And, yeah, I'm with you, Decade. Hoguta is lying through his teeth. I mean, he's a. I like that he was covering for them at the very least, although that could be chucked up to he doesn't give a fuck about them. He was just covering for his workers, which would honestly make more sense. But, I mean, there is something up with that man. We all know it. I just want to know what the hell it is at this point.
Yeah. So first off, Kairi did not see Gotch pull out those binoculars. There was no way. But whatever. Suspension of disbelief. I really enjoyed the giant Potaman fight. I love how they just form like they're like human tank. And everyone is just stunned, like that this is their last resort. But they were like hiding behind the building, like planning out, like getting all hyped up, like yeah, let's do it. As for Kogure lying about not knowing what the binoculars are, why would he do that? If his goal is to get the collection back, why would he not give them information to help them out? So, I feel like he's in league with Gosh in some way, if not being Gosh. The idea was brought up before, but this episode gives us some new evidence that suggests it might be the case. This is just like a theory I thought of noticing some evidence, but like I'm not saying it's true. It's just an idea. We know that Gosh has her teleportation ability, which we now know is the innate ability, and we've seen Kogure pop in and out of Juror like unnoticed plenty of times. Hell, in this episode he popped into Kairi's room unnoticed, just in the nick of time. There's also the timing. Gosh wasn't in her lab already when Kairi found his way in. She appeared after, possibly because she was Kogure pretending to be Kairi back at the restaurant. And then this would give reason as to why he wouldn't say anything about the binoculars. He wouldn't want to give away his own secrets. But then, what's his aim here? Well, if he wants to, like, be the new Gangler boss and be Don Dogranio's successor, eliminate the competition. Just a thought.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid theory. I do believe Kogure is a gangler at the very least, and that the binocular would probably reveal his true form. But if he was Gosh
that's
too,
really good.
If he was Gosh too, then that would be pretty
That-
damn interesting.
Not to mention if. Sorry.
I was gonna say, what Decade just said is probably way more likely than what I was saying.
Maybe. Not to mention, if Ghost creeps all of us out, it would make sense why Goody would be scared of Kogure if he is Ghost.
Oh yeah. At the beginning of the episode where it's like, are the Lupin Rangers finally found out? And what's Gosh's secret power? It's just like, I don't know if I'm ready for Gosh's secret power.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little early for that, I'd say.
As in, like, she still creeps me out. What a great female general.
I don't know who creeps me out more, her or Zamigo. Probably her right now,
Her.
but we'll see.
Definitely her.
Fair.
Once he sees Amigo eating more ice, then he'll win.
Yeah, that is a little unsettling. The way he just bites into an ice cube.
Tables around him frozen solid.
I did not get that
Final
riddle.
thought?
Oh, the riddle?
Yeah,
It's basically.
no, I get it. I didn't get it as in I didn't know the answer. Like, I didn't figure that out.
Oh, heck yeah. I didn't even try. I just was QCing the episode.
What was it again?
Okay, so, it sticks to Manju, Monica, but not Dorayaki. And the answer is your lips. Your lips have to come together to form the M in Manju and Monica, but not at all in Dorayaki. And
Gotcha.
I didn't get it. But I loved Kyrie actually, like, pausing to think about it.
Wait a minute.
Like, oh, they both have Anko in them, but Manju doesn't need Anko.
Yeah, that was adorable. I'm sorry, go on.
Well, final thoughts for me. It was an awesome episode. It was a lot of fun. I love Jim's voice actress. She's pretty freaking great. So we need more Jim in the future. And yeah, the story is just continuing to impress. Awesome villain.
So, there are two possibilities right now. Whether they knew that, like, the Power Rangers would have a fake Gangler out, and so they know Jim isn't actually one, or they didn't suspect that they would have a fake Gangler, and Kyrie is going to be looking for Jim. And I would love to get, like, a reveal in a later episode where he sees Jim and goes, Gangler! And then Tuma just looks at him like he's an idiot.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe even like if the cops and the thieves eventually have to team up for something. Because, come on, let's be honest, it's going to happen eventually. Maybe not now, but eventually. I can picture them trying that. And yeah, I mean, good mystery, good creepiness, a lot of good humor. This was a fun one. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this episode was spot on. I think that's everything. Alright then, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more Kamen Rider Build. Things are getting really heated in that series. And back next week for more LupinRanger vs. PatoRanger. Seems like some of the Power Rangers might lose some of their collection pieces to the police. What'll happen? See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Adieu, and later, taters.